Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Dame and this is Dame Over, and in case you haven't heard, there is a new weapon in Apex Legends and it's got a bunch of interesting features that make it very unique compared to other weapons in the game. So I'll be talking you through exactly what it does and give you some tips and tricks on how to use it to its fullest. So let's jump straight in with the Havoc. It's a new assault rifle, so designed for those mid-range fights, but has a few unique features that were showcased in the teaser trailer that came out on Twitter just before it dropped yesterday. Unlike any other assault rifle, it takes energy ammo, and the gun's behaviour can change pretty drastically depending on what hop-ups you manage to find, but I'll get to that in a little bit. First of all, I'll just give you a real quick rundown of the base stats so you've got an idea what to expect. It's actually very similar to the Hemlock statistically, ignoring the burst fire mode of course, and this little chart is from res.gg, that's rez.gg. They've got all of the weapon stats available if you want to check them out, and I've linked it in the description. So anyway, like I said, it's very similar to the Hemlock. The Havoc shares accuracy, damage, range, and fire rate stats as you can see, but at its base value has less damage per second. Another great thing you can do on the res.gg website is choose what attachments go on the gun and view how that changes the performance of each weapon, although with the Havoc it's a little tricky because the hop-ups don't change the stats as much as the behaviour does. So what does each hop-up do? Let's start with the simple one, the Turbocharger. So if you equip the Turbocharger to the Havoc, it completely removes the charge up time from the base version of the weapon. The regular charge up takes roughly between 1 second, 1.5 seconds. I haven't actually got a stat for that in particular, but that's my best guess. And with the full auto fire mode activated, it acts just like any of the other fully automatic weapons in the game. So this helps keep the DPS nice and high thanks to the damage output, and you'll be far more capable of large damage numbers quickly with the Havoc than the Flatline or Spitfire, for example. If you haven't got the Turbocharger attachment, then my top tip to you would be to make sure you have flanked your target. You don't want to be caught in a straight up fight when you're waiting for your weapon to start firing bullets. Next up is the Select Fire Mode hop-up. This allows you to switch between full auto to turn the Havoc into a single fire hit scan weapon. That means the bullet travel time is so fast that if you have the crosshair on your target as the bullet leaves your gun, it will hit. The tricky part is accounting for the charge up time, so if you do choose to use the Havoc this way, it might take some practice to get used to it. The single charge shot will give you a lot more extra damage per shot than the regular fire mode, so instead of 18 to the body, you'll be looking at between 40 and 55 depending on the range, and if you can land a headshot, the multiplier will see this jump up to around the 80 damage per shot mark. Now this seems really OP, a gun that can go from a solid mid-range AR to a high damage scout rifle very quickly. Well, to keep the potential killing power balanced, each charged shot will use 5 ammo, so you have to keep a very close watch on your ammo reserves if you do choose to use it this way. And with energy ammo still being the rarest ammo type, managing your inventory is even more important when you have the Havoc equipped. I do feel like energy ammo is more common than it was before, although it's still pretty rare. I don't know if it's because there's just another energy ammo weapon that the chances of it appearing are higher, or because the gun is new so more energy ammo is being made available to encourage people to pick it up. Either way, the Havoc ends up using a lot of ammo, so you have to be mindful of it. You should also be aware that there are only a few attachments that you can put onto the Havoc, so it's limited to hop-ups, optics, and a stock. So if you were searching for an extended mag that can fit onto the Havoc, unfortunately you're going to have to be disappointed. To be fair, I think if this weapon had any more possible bullets coming out of it, it would be pretty much OP. So limiting the attachments in the way they have, I think Respawn Entertainment have done a pretty good job in keeping this weapon balanced. So depending on what hop-ups you can find, you've got either a high DPS assault rifle, which is great at taking out one player at a time if you're able to isolate one from each team, or a far more versatile weapon that can act as a scout rifle as a sort of opening salvo before you push in and take advantage of the full auto capabilities. In practice, I think this gun works really well. It can be very powerful. It's not too dissimilar from the R301 in that it puts out a lot of damage very fast, although with the higher damage per shot, it does a far better job, I think, at taking down single opponents at a time than the R301. Having that limited magazine that I mentioned earlier does a very good job at keeping this weapon balanced. I really do think if you were able to get more bullets in the gun, it would cause some real problems and throw everything out of whack in the game, to be perfectly honest. It forces you to be accurate. If you manage to miss some of your shots, you're not going to be able to get a down before you have to reload. So making sure that you're able to take advantage of flanking routes and using the grapple with Pathfinder, for example, to get behind your opponents, getting that element of surprise, as always in a Battle Royale game and in Apex Legends, is a real key factor in making sure the Havoc absolutely melts the opposition. And if we talk about how it feels to play with and the recoil pattern in particular, particular, most of the kick and the recoil goes upwards. There is some horizontal recoil as well, but generally the first 15 shots that you fire will feel like they're kicking far more than the last 10. Those last 10 bullets will have a much more accurate and far closer grouping. And because of that high intensity of the first 15 rounds, I'd recommend, if you're going to use any optics, although the iron sight is good, to stick to a 1 or 2 times scope at maximum. I tend to stick to the HCOG as it gives you a nice wide field of view, although if you want to use the 1 times to 2 times variable hollow scope, then that is also a good choice as well. Anything further in than that seems to increase the recoil visually at least. It makes it much harder to control from what I've experienced, so sticking to those lower magnifications will definitely help you stay more accurate. So all in all, I think it's a pretty good gun. Whether it's going to be top tier, I can't really say just yet. It depends what other weapons get brought out. But at the moment, I'd say, depending on if you can find the ammo or not, that the Havoc will end up being in the top 3 or 4 of mid to close range weapons. But that's just what I think. I want to know what you guys think of the Havoc. Have you managed to get hold of it yet? Have you used both of the hop-ups? Make sure you let me know what you think down in the comments below. And here's a quick thank you to my Dame operatives. Those of you guys supporting the channel through Patreon, you guys are incredible. And it's because of you guys I'm able to make content as often as I do. If you want to become a patron yourself, then there's a link in the description and the pinned comment where you can support the channel from as little as $1 a month. So if you had a good time, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new around here, hit the sub button too. Don't forget the bell button for notifications so you don't miss any future posts. And as always, share this video wherever you like. Till next time, that's Dame over. Peace.